the screen in front of you. Good morning.
Yeah, you jinxed it.
I did? Uh-oh. It was about 30 years ago, I think, so I'm glad to look so young in the photograph. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be back in Skopje and to have a chance to talk with you about some very important issues. My topic today is inclusion. That's really what this conference is about. That's what the morning is about, is thinking about best practices to include all, to educate all, and to be sure that all can be successful. Let me start by thanking the International Step-by-Step organization and the foundation here in Skopje, my great friends. I tell my friends that I come to Skopje often to see friends and colleagues and to eat your great food. And so I'm looking forward to seeing many good friends today and having a chance to spend time with you and others over the course of the morning. Let me begin by welcoming you from Џорџ Мејсон University in Fairfax, Virginia. Џорџ Meiсон is the largest public research university in Virginia, a top-tier university in the United States, and our College of Education and Human Development. And begin by quoting Nelson Mandela. Mandela, the former head of South Africa, a respected leader in the world who knows something about inclusion and knows something about discrimination. Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon that we can use to change the world. And Horace Mann, one of the great American education reformers of the 1900s, also said some years ago that education is the great equalizer. Well, if we want to change the world, and we want to be sure that there's an equal playing field for all, then inclusion is one of the most important strategies that we can use. Here we go. And what a pleasure to be here on a day where we celebrate social justice. Because social justice at its heart is truly about inclusion. It's about leveling the playing field. It's about making certain that each of us, making sure that all of us have an equal opportunity to be successful in our lives through education and through services and through integrating those of us with different abilities rather than segregating those of us who have abilities different from ourselves. By integration, not segregation. And the tree of life in front of you is a depiction of many different people, many different colors representing different abilities, different languages, different ways of learning, different ways of moving, different ways of communicating, different ways of singing or not singing. It's a tree that we celebrate difference. We celebrate difference because educating all, not only educating some, educating all, not educating some, is the basis for this conversation. It's also important that we spend time not only getting our children ready to succeed in schools, but those of us in education must understand that our primary objective is to be sure that schools are ready to help children succeed. That schools are ready to meet the needs of each of our children, independent of their ability. To create opportunities for all by getting schools ready to serve each. And we sometimes talk about special education, and we do that because individuals with different abilities are indeed special. They may be different, but they're no less important. And so when we talk about special education, I talk about the importance of celebrating the specialness of each. Not segregating the differences that we experience, but celebrating each of us as being special. Because learning has no bounds. We have to be sure everybody is in bounds for learning, not out of bounds for learning. And here's some of the children that we serve. Just a brief photo tour of some of the children that we serve in our community in Virginia and our university, Đorđ Meјson. You can see a little bit about how we include kids in their learning, regardless of their ability or their opportunities. Wonderful looking kids who you're seeing on their faces the joy that they experience when they have the opportunity to learn. These are children, whether they can walk and whether they can talk and whether they can speak or whether they can see or hear. These are all children that deserve the very best from us as educators. Children who deserve to have the opportunities that each of us have because we are better when all of us have these opportunities. sure we can. There we go. Some adults also, and let's not forget that learning doesn't stop at age 18. Learning doesn't stop when children finish high school. Learning goes on over the entire course of one's life. These are some adults who learn differently than all of us, and they too need to be considered when we think about inclusion. And I want to spend a moment talking about this picture. These are a group of students at Џорџ Meiсон University who participate in a program we call Meiсон Life. They're students who have significant intellectual disabilities who come to our campus at about age 18 and stay with us for 4 or 5 years. And they have the opportunity to participate in a university-based academic program that provides them with both unique opportunities that are developmentally appropriate to how they learn, but also include them in all aspects of our university life. Some of them take some classes that are specially designed for them, but they all also take classes that all of our university students take. They live in our dormitories on the campus, they eat in our dining halls, they participate in campus activities. They in fact are included in our university because our university believes in inclusion. And Meiсон Life, I think, is a wonderful example as you think about not just early young children, not just you think about children in the high schools, but as you think about young adults and helping them to thrive and so they can succeed over the course of their life. Programs like this are very important because it's not about disability, it's about ability. It's not about the DIS, it's about the ABILITY. It's about making sure that we maximize and leverage the abilities that each of us have. And we're all like snowflakes. You know, this is a great metaphor. I always think that when the snow falls, if you look at snowflakes under a microscope, if you can keep them cold enough, they're all different. But when they come together and they form the snow that we ski on, perhaps, we don't think of the individual, we think of the whole. And as we think of individuals who have abilities different from ourselves, let's think of them as snowflakes, making the sidewalks beautiful. The snowflakes together are better than the snowflakes alone. And we want to empower. We want to empower all to succeed. We want to give them opportunities. And we do that through what I call the 5 Ps. By people who are well-trained and ready and capable and have the capacity to help all of us meet needs that are appropriate to ourselves. By places, that's finding and developing and forming and building places that allow all of us to come together, not under different roofs, but under one roof, so that we learn from each other and we experience each other and we include each other in our communities. By policies, laws governing difference, so that we embrace difference and create policies and laws that maximize the opportunities for all. And we create programs, and policies permit us to create programs that provide opportunities for each. And that our practices as professionals, as educators, as psychologists and social workers, as government policy individuals, that all of us seek to have practices in our own professional lives, practices in each of our professional lives, that embolden and empower those with abilities different from ourselves by including them, not excluding them, by integrating them, not segregating them. And finally, to create knowledge, skills, and abilities that are appropriate for all and creating expectations that allow all of us to reach for the stars. Not just some of us to reach for the stars, but all of us to reach for our stars. And it's very important. I want to close with a couple of comments to say that as we develop teacher education programs, as we develop programs that train social workers and psychologists for our schools, as we develop programs that provide the training necessary for people to work in educational settings and educational environments, that it's not only important and critical, it's essential. It's essential that all educators and professional practitioners in schools have not only a basic understanding of difference, but have a clear and present understanding of evidence-based practices that are based upon principles of inclusion and that allow and provide opportunities through our practices in schools so that all can succeed. This is really important because we know that the quality of programs that meet the needs of all are dependent upon those who are teaching so that those who teach can learn. It's our responsibility as educators. It's our responsibility as professionals to be sure that today's generation of teachers and tomorrow's teachers who are learning computers today in the universities of your communities know about meeting the needs of all by current evidence-based practices that allow all to succeed. And that includes not only the persons who are in teacher education programs now, but also those who are currently teaching, that they can expand and broaden and enhance their own abilities so that they can too learn about current practices. And let me close with a quote. Some people say that it's either about doing things right or doing the right thing. I say it's both. It's both about doing things right and also about doing the right thing. And if we do things right, and if we do the right thing for those who have abilities different from ourselves, we will be part of an enterprise that creates a society that is beneficial for all. And what better thing can we be part of? So I urge you to do both.